If you haven't met me, my name is Connie Coburn, and I'm the System Navigator for Acquired Brain Injury for Champlain. And I do have a booth back there, and I'm going to highlight that on the table, I have some cards, which is what we're going to talk about today. But on the cards, there's a QR code for a course. The course is free. It's virtual, so it can be taken at your convenience. That's really what Denis and I are going to talk about this morning. So this course came about really due to feedback we got from the community. Is that better? Feedback from the community that they were looking for some more information on post-traumatic stress disorder and specifically a course. And when we were developing it, we wanted it to be fully accessible, meaning no cost, no geographical boundaries, so that individuals who'd sustained a brain injury could make use of it, their families, as well as caregivers and support staff. And so that was really the background. So if you can go to the next slide, please. Wanting me to move on? There we go. So what we did was we went to people with lived experience or living experience and said, you know, do you see this as a problem? And a resounding response was yes, we would like to have more information about it. We'd like the caregivers that work with us and the support staff that are with us to have more information. And so from that, a collaborative effort proceeded. And so there was a joint effort between home and community care support services, where I work, as well as Vista Center Brain Injury Services, the Royal Ottawa Mental Health Care Group, and the Neurotrauma Care Pathways Project. And there was 3 psychologists that I just can't thank enough, Dr. Goslin, Dr. Bolton, and Dr. Todd from the Royal Ottawa Mental Health Group. And they came together and developed the course. They have extensive background in this field. And so they developed the course and they provided the course in person. While it was going on, we taped it. And that is really the tape that you'll see, is the live course that was then edited. So really looking at the course program, it really looks at what is post-traumatic stress disorder. It gives a really good overview. And then it also gives an overview of brain injury so that when you look at the strategies after, you kind of have that ground understanding of those topics. And then it goes into really concrete strategies that support people, either if you're a caregiver of someone with a brain injury, or if you have a brain injury and you're looking for strategies to support yourself, or you're a community support worker and you're looking to help those people you work with. Now, I want to highlight that this was one of the 6 provincial projects through the Neurotrauma Care Pathways. So the Neurotrauma Care Pathways funded some support for 6 projects, and this was one of them. So when you go online, you'll see that it's housed under the Neurotrauma Care Pathways resources. You'll also see other resources there that might be of interest to you. When we did the pre-training survey, the response was that people wanted increased understanding of post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as really concrete knowledge of strategies to support people. And I think you'll find when you look at the course that it really did a great job of meeting this need. So you can see here that 37% of the people that were evaluated said that the staff that took the training said they wanted more background and courses to help them support the individuals. And they identified the need for training as well. I'm going to hand it over to Denis, and he's going to talk a little bit about the evaluation that took place after.
So what we did is we did have a pre, and then we had a post, and what I'd like to present to you is some of the results that we received in regards to the training that we actually had. So we do have the participant self-report of comfort level in supporting a client with the community with PTSD. And as you see here, 50% or more are reporting that the comfort level is great or not so great. Okay. Next one. So Post-training participant feedback. And as you see here, it goes from 0 to 100%, and we asked 3 particular questions, and all of them was we got 100%. So for example, did the training increase your knowledge of PTSD and ABI? 100%. Do you feel the training better equipped you to support the client and the community with PTSD and ABI? Again, 100%. And did you feel that the course content was helpful? Again, 100%. And I just want you to highlight in regards to this slide that what we got as a result is 100% on all 3 of these particular questions. Feedback that we got from the participants were the following. The need to treat the client as a whole person, so not only the PTSD, but also anything else that might be occurring. Psychological first aid kits, and you can ask an awful lot of counselors what that may be. The third one was grounding techniques such as the countdown method, for example. So if I take the number 100 and I have to count down 3 from 100, it would be, for example, and if I do this correctly, please tell me. If not, you can also tell me. But so if I count down 3 from 100, 97, 94, 91, Emotional regulation skills, again, to keep your emotions in check and to recognize these. The next one, catch it, check it, change it approach. And the last one was community counseling resources. So these are some of the feedbacks that we got from the participants who took the course in regards to some of the things that should be helpful. Then we did a survey of clients, and this was a survey of clients with lived experience in regards to their knowledge of PTSD. And I'm going to really highlight the really first one that you see on there, which is like 85%. Clients reporting that they would like training related to PTSD for themselves and their support system. And I want to emphasize, when you look at this, it's 85%. And I will say from this that there is a need to provide training in regards to PTSD as well as ABI. Then we asked, please indicate your level of agreement with each statement. So as you see here, strongly agree, neither, And I'm going to highlight some of these again. The seminar increased my knowledge of post-traumatic stress disorder. And if you look at that, it's 50% or more. I have been able to implement a strategy that I learned in the seminar. So that's about 40%. And then I would recommend this training seminar to other individuals that work in, and you will see that we got 90%. And there is a merit in continuing to provide the training sessions related to boost traumatic post. So the one that I want to highlight here is the third one. I would recommend this training seminar to other individuals that work. And as you see there, it's like almost 90%. So again, there is a need for this training. So what are some of the challenges and barriers that we actually saw within what we tried to do? So the barriers, diverse audience. There should be some specific training for different people working with ABI and PTSD. So for example, specific training for caregivers, specific training for clients, specific training for people that work in the healthcare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we are not finished. This was like kind of like opening up a can of worms, where we investigated this and we found out that there's a bigger need than what we anticipated. The second barrier is we are supposed to look at the Champlain region, and Champlain is very large geographically. It could actually be compared to actually some countries in Europe. So it's very difficult, and we did one course, but actually we should be doing many more because it's a very large area. And of course, the accessibility of training for caregivers. So what we've done also in order to increase in sustainability, the in-person training was videotaped. So anyone can go and see this videotape. It is right there. And if you go onto the Neurotrauma Care Pathways website, it is there for anyone to take a look at. And I'd like to show you a slide of the participants in that day. Thank you for your time. Any questions? Yes.
Any questions? Yeah,
Testing?
there we go.
Oh, that's much better. My name's Donna Lee, and my question has to do with community supports in terms of counseling and support services.
Right.
And you're probably well aware of this. There are quite long wait lists for counseling in the Ottawa area, and it's hard to get a counselor where there's going to be consistency of treatment.
Right.
And I just wanted to point that out because I think it's wonderful that people identify community supports, but if the supports aren't there, people fall through the cracks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand what you're saying. And I think one of the resources I'd give people if they're looking for getting counseling sooner, but maybe not for the long term, is Access MHA. So it's relatively new to our area. It goes from all of Champlain and now the Southeast region, and they will get you connected with a counselor that can see you relatively quickly. Okay?
And I'll probably respond to that because when Connie and I got together to present a project to the Neurocare Pathways is that I think, came up with this idea of ABI and exploring the whole thing of PTSD. And as I said, I think we've kind of opened up a can of worms, whereby we did one training, we videoed one training, but we're realizing that there's a big need in regards to addressing that particular topic. And, and I'm going to speak for me and Connie. Yes, Donnelly, you are correct, and we are going to try our best to perhaps pursue other venues. Unfortunately, the funding is done for this particular project, but I think what we've identified is there is a need for training in regards to this, not only for caregivers, not only for clients, but also for healthcare, other healthcare providers.
And I would add to that that at the end of the training, the 3 psychologists came to me and said, so what are we doing next? So they're ready to help out and develop another training course too. Stay tuned.
Any other questions?
The QR code currently is not working. It tells us that it's not working. So while you have us all together, maybe can you tell us about what we would do next?
Yeah, if you just go on to, if you Google Neurotrauma Care Pathways, I'll see if I can get that QR code fixed, but if you Google Neurotrauma Care Pathways, and on their lead page, you'll see resources, and it will list the 6 resources, and one of them is clearly marked as the post-traumatic stress disorder training. Any other questions? Okay, thanks very much for your time and attention.